And good evening to you from the Storm Alert Weather Center. It's 10:30, and we don't typically do these type of things out of the rim of Russell and surrounding counties. We've had a lot of people who have family and friends in and around the Dayton, Ohio area, and right now that is to the east of Dayton, and we're going to look at the radar. We have a tornado emergency that is now underway. A tornado emergency that is now underway. If you are if you have friends or family in Dayton, Ohio, tell them they need to be in a safe place. Again, a tornado emergency. And right now, the areas affected by that storm. Again, this is in Ohio. And I want to emphasize that we have a lot of family and people that are from that area. This is impacting areas around the Wilberforce, Cedarville, Shawnee Hills. This is Jamestown, Ohio, Octa, I guess that's Milledgeville, and Jeffersonville, Ohio. Now, as you can see, this one area of circulation. I've never seen circulation to that intense. We have a tornado on the ground. It is confirmed. So if you have people in the Wilberforce, this is areas to the east of Dayton, and apparently Shiloh, Ohio has been hit. And again, this is a tornado emergency, and what we're looking at is the velocity mode on the radar. The reflectivity shows again impressive hook echo, and you can see this is where the strongest part of the storm is between Yellow Springs and Cedarville, Ohio. This is again tornado emergency. Confirmed that a tornado has been observed. Considerable damage has been reported, and hail up to 2 inches in diameter. Again, this is in Ohio. The reason we're going live is because we have a lot of friends and family in that area. Again, this is a tornado warning. This is for areas to the east of Dayton, Ohio, and if we can put this storm track into motion, you can see how it's kind of played out over the last little while once it got around Dayton, Ohio, and continued to move into Xenia, Ohio, now into South Salone, Ohio, crossing Interstate 75. So it's a very dangerous situation. If you are in the areas that we mentioned a few moments ago, Xenia, Ohio. This is the track of the storm now. Wilberforce, Cedarville, South Salone, Jeffersonville, and Midway. Again, this is a tornado emergency. And again, we don't usually mention severe weather if it does not affect Russell and surrounding counties. But this is a very, very serious critical situation that is unfolding in Ohio this evening. We don't have a lot of information as to what all has happened. We do have reports of significant damage in areas to the east of Dayton. We'll try to get some more information to you on that as we go into the evening. But again, right now, this is. Don't really want you to share it with the people up there unless you just want to. You need to get on the phone and tell them if they live east of Dayton, and some of the areas that would be impacted include Wilberforce, Cedarville, Shawnee Hills, Jamestown, Ohio, Octa, Milledgeville, and Jeffersonville. This is in Ohio. We're not trying to scare anybody in Russell County or any place in Kentucky. There's no threats of severe weather there. This is because we have a lot of people who have family there. 2-inch hail is also possible from this storm. And if you are in the path of it, now then again, this is Ohio. We can't emphasize this enough. You definitely need to tell your friends if you live in this area. That would be around Bowersville, Jeffersonville, South Salone. Those are some of the areas that will be impacted by this large, violent tornado that's impacting the central part of Ohio. Now, if you look at the vertical integrated liquid data that we have here in the Storm Center, it shows between Yellow Springs and Cedarville. This is the area that we have that you can see here on the screen. This area here shows large hail, possibly up to 1.5 to 2 inches in diameter. This will be just to the north of Xenia, Ohio, between Yellow Springs and Cedarville. This is a dangerous thunderstorm producing a tornado, and that would be impacting the following counties. That would be northwestern Fayette County in central Ohio, Clark County in central Ohio, eastern Greene County in west central Ohio, and southwestern Madison County in central Ohio. Again, this is all Ohio. It just happens to be that they have counties. It's kind of odd. It's kind of close to the Fayette, Clark, and Madison. Kind of sounds like a Kentucky event, but this is out of the Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. Again, a tornado emergency. This storm will be north of Xenia, Ohio, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Radar confirmed. Tornado emergency also for Montgomery County, Ohio. Now, as we begin to look back to the north, we also have another tornado warning that's impacting Vandalia, Ohio. That's right at the Interstate 70 and 75 corridor. Again, this is in Ohio. Radar indicated a possible tornado in that area. And folks, if you have family and friends along, say south of Springfield, they need to be in a safe place. A tornado warning again is moving into northwestern Greene and eastern Montgomery County in Ohio. This is in effect until midnight Eastern time, about another 20 minutes or so. So friends, if you have family that's in Ohio, you need to tell them to seek shelter immediately. If they are in the Dayton, the Centerville area, Xenia, Ohio, Yellow Springs, they have a tornado emergency going on there. Now, as we go back to the east, just south of Interstate 71 near Mount Sterling, Ohio, we have another tornado warning that's in effect for Commercial Point and Lithopolis. That is in the central part of Ohio. But again, if you have family and friends in this area, you need to tell them to seek shelter immediately. This is not something that we want you to share on Facebook and make a big, publicity thing like share the information. You need to get on the phone. You need to tell them if they are in those areas, they need to seek shelter immediately from this particular storms as they move through tonight in central Ohio. Again, this is the tornado warning for Miami County, Ohio, has been canceled. The tornado watch does remain in effect. The tornado warning for southwestern Miami County has been canceled. Remains in effect for north central Montgomery County. This is in effect until 11:45 Eastern for north central Montgomery County. And again, this is what we're seeing here this evening from the Storm Alert Weather Center, and we want to tell you, please tell your friends, tell your family, if they are in this area, they need to be in their safe place. They need to be seeking shelter immediately. Don't try to do the social media thing and tell them to watch this. This is a dangerous situation, and the reason we're here is simply to warn folks about about what is going on tonight out of the Weather Service office in Wilmington, Ohio. Again, a tornado emergency is in effect for those areas. This will be for northwestern Fayette County in central Ohio, south central Clark County in west central Ohio, east central Greene County and Madison County in west central Ohio. This is in effect until 12:15 Eastern Time. Weather Service Doppler radar indicating a tornado-producing storm 5 miles north of Xenia, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. And I think I'm going to check in with to see if we have anyone there that has any questions. I'm going to go back to the live broadcast here on the computer as you watch this. Like I said, you need to tell your friends and your family that's in those areas. They need to be in their safe place immediately. This is a tornado emergency. Not anything to mess around with. You can see the strong rotation. I see Debbie Withers and Steve Haste and Katie Ledbetter has checked in. Frank Irvin, and we appreciate all these people who have tuned in this evening. A tornado emergency now in effect for parts of Ohio. And again, if you have friends and family in these areas that we're mentioning, they need to be in a safe place. They need to be there now. That would be for Xenia, Cedarville, Shawnee Hills, Yellow Springs. Those are the areas that are right in the path of this storm. If you live in South Salone, Jeffersonville, Milledgeville, areas to the west of Midway, you need to be in a safe place. We do have a tornado warning in effect for you, and the thing is as you can see from the Doppler radar, we have Dayton, Ohio still remains in effect for a tornado warning. They just went through one, and now you have another tornado warning that was issued that's impacting Vandalia, and it looks like that storm will continue to track across parts of central Ohio, maybe a little bit north of Dayton, and this would impact Riverside, Xenia, Wilberforce, Shawnee Hills, Jamestown, Port William, and Bowersville. Again, this is a tornado warning for Ohio, and if you have friends, if you have family in this area, they need to be in a safe place. Don't try to share it and in hopes that they see it. Pick up the phone and call them. If they live between Vandalia, Jamestown, Ohio, and Bloomingburg, they need to be in a safe place. This is looking around the I-70 corridor near Springfield or south of Springfield, down through Clifton, Xenia, Ohio, Jamestown, Ohio, and then we have another tornado warning that's in effect for areas around Asheville. They're already impacted by that storm as it makes its way through this area. This is another tornado warning that's in effect for that region. All right, and now as we again continue coverage here from the Storm Alert Weather Center, the reason we're on is because of we have we know a lot of people that are in Ohio. Ohio is sometimes another Kentucky. When there's severe weather, it a lot of times impacts family and friends who have moved away or works in those areas, and that's why we're on tonight, because we care about your friends and your family. Now, as we look at the state of Kentucky, there's nothing going on. I will bring up the national radar real quick with this, and you can see there's nothing going on in Kentucky. It's all north of us, around Columbus, Ohio, the Dayton, Ohio area. And folks, if you are able to tell people, Columbus is being impacted now. We have a tornado warning for Columbus. The tornado warning that was in effect here for this area. I'm not for sure the county that has been allowed to expire. Columbus is under a tornado warning that would be affecting the Croton area, and also we have this other storm. This is just over Columbus, Ohio, Gahanna, Pataskala, Alexandria, Granville, Hebron, Heath, and Newark. Those are the areas that are impacting this additional thunderstorm that is likely producing a tornado. Again, this is along the Interstate 270 corridor where it intersects 270 and 71 in Columbus. If you're on that thoroughfare, you need to be off the road. You need to tell the people, I guess what I should say is, if you live here and you have family in those areas, you need to tell them they need to seek shelter immediately. Now we have another tornado warning that's in effect. If you have anyone in Marion, Ohio, New Bloomington, LaRue, or Green Camp, those are additional areas that have a tornado warning that's in effect. This is radar indicated hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and this is moving east at 35 miles per hour. Now this is the tornado warning that we're showing you right here. This is the tornado warning that's moving to the east into Marion, Ohio. All right, we do have, again, if you are in Dayton, Ohio, if you have friends and family there, you need to tell them they need to be in a safe place. This is a dangerous situation. Strong circulation has been detected by radar, and as you can see this, you can see this strong level of circulation right over Cedarville, Ohio, near Shawnee Hills, just to the north and east of Xenia, Ohio. If you remember, back in '74, disastrous, destructive tornado wreaked havoc in Xenia, Ohio, and parts of Kentucky during that April 3rd, '74 tornado outbreak. So if you're in Cedarville, it's already too late to be taking any shelter or doing anything for that area. Strong area of circulation. It's very likely that this tornado could be a half mile wide or so. Large hail, destructive hail, and this is the area of where we would see the hail is where you see the purple around South Sloan. This is the area of the tornado. This is where the tornado would be located. And this particular situation, this is radar indicated and the storm has a history of producing tornadoes. Again, this would be impacting Cedarville, Jamestown, Ohio, Jeffersonville, Ohio, Wilberforce, on down through Bookwater, Bell City, Shady Grove, and Interstate 71 and U.S. Route 35. This includes 71 in Ohio between the mile markers 62 and 67. So this is the area of the strongest rain. This is where the tornado would be. You have hail in this area as well. Again, this is a dangerous situation. So if putting a track on that storm again, Cedarville, Jeffersonville, Midway, Bloomingburg, Mount Sterling, and New Holland between 10:52 and 11:43 this evening. Again, if you have family and friends in this area, call them immediately and tell them they need to be in a safe place. They do not need to delay. This is a tornado. I think the tornado emergency has been lifted. I believe that has been lifted, but nonetheless, we are now under additional tornado warnings for South Salone, the Washington Courthouse, and Mount Sterling on the along the Interstate 71 corridor. Again, this is in Ohio, but the reason we're doing this is because a lot of people have family and friends in and around the Dayton area, and I think we would be safe to say that Dayton Poplar, or Dayton proper, I should say, it appears that the tornado risk, you're not in the polygon. It is around Hubert Heights, and the Fairborn area is where that this additional tornadic thunderstorm is located. Crystal Lakes, the Yellow Springs area, that's where we're seeing the strongest part of this thunderstorm, and you can see the intense rotation that is now located just to the north of Jamestown, Ohio. Again, this is not, and I repeat, it is not Kentucky. Right here is the area that we would see the most likelihood for a tornado. Strong circulation there, and that's even backed up by the velocity mode on the radar, and it shows the returns that we definitely have tornadic activity both there and in the areas around the Hubert Heights area. Hubert Heights is to the north of Dayton, Ohio. And we continue to get tornadic vortex signatures from the storm. And again, if you have family and friends that are in the Hubert Heights area of Ohio, it's too late for you folks. But anybody to the east, southeast, around Yellow Springs, of course, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. But to the north of Jamestown, Ohio, we do have continued tornado warning. Again, if you are in the path of this storm, if you have friends, now they have a brand new tornado warning. I think has just been issued. This is a brand new tornado warning that's now issued for a large part of the 71 corridor between Jeffersonville, just to the east of Port William, along Interstate 71 in Mount Sterling, Ohio. Another tornado warning that's covering parts of about 3 counties in the central part of Ohio. I'm going to go to some of our messages and see what we have. Allison Urbanak, I guess is her name. The storm passed through my city of Muncie, Indiana. Had a couple of touchdowns. It is in Ohio. Tiffany Lynn Markins, it is in Ohio. And again, if you have friends up in this area, we do have, a tornado emergency tornado situation going on in this area. So people should be seeking shelter. Now, if you have family and friends in South Salone, I mean, it's too late for you. Jeffersonville, you're right in line for this tornado. You have about 10 or 11 minutes to seek shelter. If you have friends in Jeffersonville, Ohio, in Bloomingburg, in New Holland, Darbyville, Williamsport, and this is areas to the east and to the southeast of Dayton, Ohio. And the reason we're here is to tell people to they need to seek shelter. Now, the thing about, we have now a new tornado warning that is coming back across. Now, folks, listen real carefully. If you have family and friends in this area, if their infrastructure is still there, you need to tell them. If around Yellow Springs, to the east of Yellow Springs, right now the tornado, we have two tornadoes active rotation, as you might say. One over Huber Heights, Ohio. Areas impacted by this storm. Let's see, we have a couple going on now. Fairborn, Yellow Springs, Wilberforce, Cedarville, Jamestown, Ohio, South Salone, Jeffersonville, Washington Courthouse, Bloomingburg, and Mount Sterling. Now, this covers a long area, almost an hour worth of severe weather between 10:57 and 11:53 this evening. This is in Ohio. Those are the areas of concern. If you have anybody that's in the path, in this polygon, in the path of this storm, they should be seeking shelter immediately. Don't try to necessarily share it on Facebook, and in fact, I don't want you sharing it really on any place locally. I mean, we don't want to get anybody here upset or scared, but we're trying to warn the people in Ohio about the severe weather that is occurring. All right, so people that's in the Huber Heights area, we have again a tornado warning in effect, and that's tracking off into Yellow Springs, the Jamestown area, and again this is Ohio, South Salone, and Jeffersonville. You can once again see the velocity in this, the rotation in this storm. Probably a tornado that's within, probably a half mile wide or so, maybe larger, that is impacting areas around Huber Heights, that is to the north and to the east of Dayton, Ohio. And we're watching all of this, and folks, if you have family and friends in there, you need to tell them they need to be in a safe place immediately. And even, I mean, I don't think I can recall seeing as many tornado warnings issued at one time in a state. So many counties impacted. We have another tornado warning that's impacting Amanda, Lancaster, West Rushville, Bremen, Rushville, Junction City, Ohio, and Somerset, Ohio. These are storms that are around Westerville and Columbus, north and south of that city proper, along the Interstate 70 and 270 corridor. Again, we have tornado warnings there. And I don't know how far that, like Kenton, Ohio, we have another tornado warning there. I think that's expected to expire here in just a minute. Let's get back down to where the most activities going on, and you can see the rotation in these thunderstorms around Reynoldsburg, Gahanna, and just to the south of Albany, Ohio, and Pataskala would be in the path of that. That's around Interstate 70 and 270 in Columbus, Ohio. And folks, if you are in the path of these storms, and if you're listening, if somebody shared it with you on Facebook, you need to be in a safe place. There's no severe weather for Kentucky. The only reason we're mentioning this is because of the fact so many people have family there. I shared this with a couple of friends earlier on this evening. They said, thank you for telling. And, we had some people had sent messages about, what's going on, what's happening. And I thought, we're out here to make people aware of what's happening, what's going on in their community. And this is for the families of those who live in our area that's in the path of these storms. So if you have family that's in Jeffersonville, Ohio, around the Washington Courthouse, around Mount Sterling, to the north of Xenia, south of Springfield, along then south of the 70 corridor and along the 71 corridor, and in Ohio, you need to tell those folks they need to be in a safe place, and you can see the rotation will take the warnings off there for just a second, and you can see the areas that are likely to have a tornado in progress. That would be along the 76-75 corridor around Yellow Springs, and this is where the tornado is likely to be, and that would be impacting Cedarville. That's moving right through Yellow Springs, Cedarville, Jeffersonville, Ohio, and Midway. That is what we're looking at now, and folks, it's a dangerous situation for the people in Ohio this evening. So if you have family or friends that live in these areas, please tell them that they need to be in a safe place. I want to take a quick look again at at some of our messages. Let's see, Marie. This is in Ohio. Marie, I guess we're warning people about this who live in around the Dayton. Well, actually, to the east of Dayton, right over Columbus, Ohio, Lancaster, Ohio, where we have tornado warnings in effect. And I think probably we'll go ahead and end the broadcast this evening. I see no need to continue to talk about this situation, but I do think that maybe we have made a difference. I hope so. We've had 22 shares thus far, 15 comments. Let's see, a few people have just said hello, and we appreciate all the comments. And again, this is the reason we're doing this is because a lot of people live in Ohio. They come from Kentucky. They have family and friends there, and that's what's going on in the Buckeye State tonight at 11:03. You're listening to severe weather coverage way up in Ohio, and the reason being a lot of people has family and friends there, so that's the name of the game this evening. I want to bring up once again the velocity mode. This is This is where we can tell the greatest area of circulation with any particular thunderstorm. And again, some of these tornado warnings in effect until like 11:30. The one over in Lancaster in effect until 11:15. But you can see with you can see right here. It seems like that over the last few moments, the last couple of radar scans, you can tell that the tornadic signature is not quite as intense as it was as it moves into Jeffersonville. You can see it begin to weaken just a little bit. Still dangerous thunderstorm winds, tornadic thunderstorm winds, a lot of rotation there, but it's not quite as tight as it was as it was over Cedarville, Ohio. Now you can tell this is a different story as this other tornado warning that's in effect. It kind of mimics the one that was that just passed through. So folks, if you're in Cedarville, if you're in South Salone, we have another tornado warning that is impacting your area. Strong circulation, and you might say, well, where is it? And we'll show you right now. Right there is where the rotation is, and I'm going to make that a white color, and maybe that will help a little bit on. Well, I thought we had that on white. Let's see. All right, right there. There's the area of circulation in that storm. Maybe it's a little easier for you to see tonight, and it's a tight circulation, and that is just to the south of Yellow Springs. People in the areas around Cedarville, South Salone, Shawnee Hills, Jeffersonville, Midway, and South Salone again should be seeking shelter. And again, this is for people in Ohio, and if you have family and friends who live there, then these people needs to be in a safe place. Don't try to say, well, I want to share it on Facebook and on a social media platform. You can, but it's best to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, you have some serious weather coming this way, and you need to seek shelter immediately. Yep, David Coffey, man, thank you for sharing this. We're glad we can be of help. Please tell them. Let's see, if you're still watching here, the Washington Courthouse, we're going to show you, we're going to be more specific on this. And you can see where the circulation is, and it appears, David, I think that's who mentioned it. Yeah, David Coffey. It appears that the worst part of that tornado, that tornadic thunderstorm, it appears the worst part of that is now will be tracking off to the north of Washington Courthouse, and you can see the tracking of where that it's expected to be. Williamsport 1136, Circleville 1147, the Kingston area 1153, Stoutville 1156, Tarleton at 1159, Amanda at 1201, Adelphia at 1204, and Laurelville at 12:04 a.m. Eastern time. Again, this is Ohio, and it appears that the strongest part of that storm, and you can watch it as it moves through, and we get into and put it into motion. The strongest part of that storm is right now over the city of Jeffersonville, Ohio, and it's you can see the the Hook Echo there, this line of circulation. This is where that would be likely that the tornado would be if it were to be would be on the ground, and not quite as strong of circulation as we've seen earlier tonight, but nonetheless still a threat. I'm not calling an all clear for Washington Courthouse for your family, David, but I am saying the strongest part of that storm appears to be to the north around Jeffersonville, around 71. And David, as you can see, the track of that, it is moving to the east. And again, as I said, I will not tell you that that it's all clear for Washington Courthouse. Right on the edge of that boundary of the inflow, you could still pick up very dangerous thunderstorm winds and tornadic winds from this cell as it moves through. So you're definitely not out of the woods yet. And the thing about it is as we look at these warnings that are in place, we can see the strong circulation, and that's a good thing from that storm that we mentioned that's around the Washington Courthouse. Again, we still have significant rotation there. There's still signs of rotation between Midway and Jeffersonville along 71, but it's not quite as intense as it was a few minutes ago. If you're in around Yellow Springs, Cedarville, north of Xenia, Shawnee Hills, this is a different story. Now, we still have tight rotation in that storm, and if you look at the vertical integrated liquid data that we have on our radar, you can see large hail that would be falling in that area, and persons should be in a safe place. This is again, if you have family and friends in this area, they need to be in a safe place. This is for Ohio, and I'm going to see if we have any more. Ed Shanks reports having a brother in Huber Heights. No contact yet. Sirens going off again. Angel Lewis, where do you live? I don't need your street address. Tell us where you live. You can send us a message there. I'm going to continue. We have a lot of activity going on right now in the Storm Center. Surprisingly, 24 people that's tuned in tonight listening. And, we're glad to have you folks around. We do this all the time for folks in Kentucky. But then when we saw that this was impacting people that we knew that had family and friends in the neighboring state, I thought, well, heck, we're not doing anything else. Why not just bring some severe weather coverage for them folks the way we do for the folks when they're here. So anyway, we have again the tornado warning. This tornado warning is in effect for Fayette and southern Madison County, Ohio. Golf ball sized hail is possible with this storm moving to the southeast at 40. And this is the one that's in effect for Jeffersonville, Ohio, or in that area, South Salome, Mount Sterling. And as you see, we still have rotation in that storm. It appears the bulk of it, the heaviest part of it, is probably going to go to the north of Washington Courthouse, but you're still in that tornado warning. You still need to be in that safe place. If you have anybody that lives in that area, I know David mentioned that, you can tell your family and friends that well, what's going on. They live in Fairborn, Ohio. Sirens going off again, and let me see where we. That is. I'm trying to find Fairborn, Ohio. I think. I'm trying to decide where Fairborn, Ohio is. Where can you tell me where Fairborn is? Salina is devastated. Uh, we have a house in Brookville is destroyed. Uh, okay, Fairborn is near Dayton, Ohio. So we have again confirmed reports there that we have damage in and around Dayton, around Fairborn, Ohio. There we go. Here's Fairborn. That's right along the 70 and the 675 corridor. And right now, of course, it's probably destruction, devastation there. But nonetheless, you're all clear at this point. Fairborn is clear. Xenia, Ohio is clear. Jamestown and Clifton, Ohio still remains under a tornado warning. And let's see, we have one warning that expires at 11:15. That would be, let's see, that would be, they're calling, that's Central Time. Our computers is set up on the Central Time Zone. Let me look at this a little closer. Southwestern Clark until 12:30 Eastern. That's another 15 minutes or so. And let's see, tornado warning remains in effect until 12:15 for northwestern Fayette, south central Clark, eastern Greene, and southwestern Madison County. In Ohio, 2-inch in diameter hail and a tornado. Radar indicated rotation. The storm has history of producing tornadoes, and it's likely that it's going to be totally a bad situation in and around that area. We're going to try to have some storm reports again. We have a lot of people that's tuned in this evening. If you have family and friends that live in the areas that we've been talking about, then you should be telling them to seek shelter as soon as possible. They need to go to a safe place immediately. And I'm going through. I'm trying to find to see if we have some. I'm on the Weather Service website in Wilmington, Ohio, to try to get some information such as storm reports. But I'm not able to do that at this point. But again, if you have family and friends that live in these areas, they need to be in a safe place. And I know we've talked a lot about Dayton. Of course, that they're all clear now. South Salone, Washington Courthouse, Xenia, Ohio. Back toward Columbus, we have again a tornado warning that's in effect there. And that'd be around Pataskala in the Newark area of Ohio. That's to the east of Columbus. Columbus is right on the fringe of the tornado warning. The worst part of that is now over the Pataskala area of Ohio. Lancaster, Ohio, we still have an additional tornado warning there. And as far as the rest of the state, I don't see anything else that we might be missing. And this is all part of a complex weather system. I guess you would say a tornado outbreak that started in the. Well, I first picked up on it in the central part of Indiana. I think we may have had some storms over in Illinois as well, but at least into Indiana. Have reports of different storms going on there. Uh, all right, let's see. Let's see. Where do we need to go? Um, let's go back to this storm here. This is to the east of Dayton, around Cedarville, the Yellow Springs area. We have a tornado warning that's in effect. This is in effect until 12:30 Eastern Time. Uh, and I'm trying to find out if we have any additional information. Storm reports. I'm not getting anything thus far uh, in relationship to what's happening this afternoon or tonight up in Ohio. But we have reports here from the studio and what's been posted on Facebook that we have confirmed damage around Dayton and around the Kettering area, Beaver Creek, and Fairborn, Ohio. Have reports there, and again, those folks are clear. Dayton, Huber Heights, Centerville, they're all clear. Yellow Springs, Cedarville, still under a tornado warning. South Salone, Jeffersonville, Bloomington, Washington Courthouse, and New Holland, Mount Sterling, under a tornado warning. And as you can see, that storm began to track away. As we mentioned the Washington Courthouse earlier, I said it appears the worst part of the storm is to your north, and that has proved true. And now we have a brand new tornado warning. Brand new tornado warning for Williamsport, Darbyville, Asheville, Circleville, New Holland. A brand new tornado warning that has been issued just now. This is from the Weather Service in Wilmington, Ohio. And some of the areas that's impacted include Williamsport, Circleville, Kingston, Stoutville, Tarleton, Adelphia, and Laurelville between 11:48 and 12:20 this morning. Severe weather coverage here from the Storm Alert Weather Center. We're based out of south central Kentucky. We serve Russell County, the Lake Cumberland area, and surrounding counties. And the reason we're talking weather in Ohio is because we have a lot of people that have family and friends there. And that's the reason that we're bringing weather coverage to you all. All right, Selena Lacey is heading toward Mount Vernon, Ohio. Let me see. Can you tell me where Mount Vernon, Ohio is? Let me bring up a map real quick. And then we will be able to all right, Mount Vernon, Ohio. That is to the east of Centerburg, Ohio. And let's see, we'll look at that. I don't think. Let's see. You did say Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon, Ohio, at this point is having some thunderstorm activity. There are no severe thunderstorm warnings. There are no tornado warnings for Mount Vernon, Ohio. So you can rest. You can rest well tonight. Let's see, whoever it was that. Yeah, Jessica Dufer is asking about it. Yeah, it's storming pretty. It's pretty intense in Mount Vernon, Ohio. We are near Columbus, they say, and I want to tell you folks about something that can help you all. Okay, now I did a live video the other day. Folks, if you want something that's dependable, now we're not telling you that this is the only means of weather notification, but right here is a device that we have been using for the past year or so, and you can find them on Amazon. You can find them on Walmart.com. They're 95% accurate, and they detect severe thunderstorms, and they detect tornadoes. It's based on lightning. There's some people who say it's not, it's snake oil, that it's not going to work, and they really talk bad about those particular things. But I've been doing weather since back in the 80s, and I've done a lot of research on this particular device, and this is something that I believe in. You will get the warnings well ahead of the National Weather Service, and I would be interested to know what you would have received tonight. Now, we have testimonies in Texas. Back a few days ago when the storms moved through Texas, you can find this device on Walmart.com. You can go to tornadoalert.com. They average between $60 and $100. It does not depend on a website, internet. It doesn't depend on a cell phone tower, anything like that. This is called the Tornado Alert, and I would like to encourage you to write this down and to make plans to purchase one in the near future. This will be something you use in conjunction with your tornado alert siren on your from NOAA Weather Radio. It's not intended to replace anything, but you're going to get the warnings a lot quicker when you utilize this tornado alert. It's very simple to use. Simply plug it in and let it go. It's not going to alert you over and over and tell you things. It will detect severe thunderstorms 30 miles out. And I would just like to encourage you to take time to consider this. I have it here in the studio. I put my confidence in it. If I had to do away with everything I have, including radar, weather radar, weather radio, and all of that stuff, this would be what I would use for self-protection. So anyway, give that a thought, and maybe try to purchase one. You can get them online. They're available. I think Amazon have them for about $60. Again, we have tornado warnings continues affecting Jeffersonville, Bloomingburg, New Holland, Williamsport, and Clarksville, or Clarksburg, Ohio. That is between 11:44 and 12:18. We have this additional tornado warning that's impacting Mount Sterling, almost immediately Circleville, and down just around the Kingston area of central Ohio. Let's see. The other tornado warning, this is moving to the east at 33 miles per hour. Central Fairfield, north central Hocking County in central Ohio until 12:45. This will be impacting Lancaster, Pleasantville, Hideaway Hills, Sugar Grove, Rushville, West Rushville, U.S. Route 22. That would be right around the Hideaway Hills, Clearport, North Bern, and the Dumontville areas of that area, Central Fairfield and North Central Hocking County in Central Ohio. We have a tornado warning that's moving to the east at about 25 miles per hour, and that would impact the Newark area. That is the southwestern Licking County. Tornado and a quarter-size inch hail threat. Radar indicated this, and we could go up there and look at the velocity mode on this particular storm as it moves through, and you can see the rotation in that storm as it moves through, impacting Pataskala and the Newark area. And some of the areas other than that is Hanover and the Heath. That's 11:54 to 12:18. This warning in effect until 12:30 Eastern Time this Tuesday morning. And it's been a rough night for people in Ohio as we've had numerous severe thunderstorms and tornado warnings in effect, and as well as Indiana. And we'll look at the reflectivity there from these storms as we begin to move a little bit farther out from the radar at Wilmington. The reflectivity changes a little bit, but we continue to see rotation in these storms as they move through. And you can see the tide rotation just to the southeast of Lancaster. That's where we have a tornado warning in effect, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning for the I-77 corridor just to the south of Zanesville and Barnesville and north of the Parkersburg area of central Ohio. So this is what we're looking at now. I'm going to go back to Facebook. I'll let this play here, and I'm going to see what kind of messages that we're getting. We've had reports of up around a lot of damage near the new casino. And I don't think we have any more messages that's coming through. Anybody have anything they want to say? Anything they want to add this evening, as we discuss the weather situation tonight? Anybody have anything they need to add with this? I think we have probably pretty well covered everybody the best that we can. It's we could sit here all night and talk about the weather and what's going on, but the premise of us being here tonight was simply to say, hey, if you have friends up in Ohio that doesn't know what's going on, you need to tell them they need to be in a safe place tonight because of this tornadic thunderstorms that are moving through. We're going to go from west to east and show you the latest threats. And then once that we get done with that, I think we'll probably end the broadcast. If you haven't been seeking a shelter from the storms after our sermon tonight, then it's probably not going to do you any good. We'll see if we have any more messages that came through. We don't have anything else that's new, so that'll be fine. Let's see. Let's talk about the storms as they move, as they're making their way to the east. The first tornado warning that we'll talk about is impacting Jeffersonville immediately. Bloomingburg, New Holland, Williamsport, and Clarksburg. This is between 11:46 and 12:29 this morning. Let's see again. This will be they're giving that in Central Times. This will be Eastern Times. 12:29 is when it expires. So if we put a track on that, the Eastern Time would be 12:47, 1:03, right up into 1:30 this morning between Jeffersonville and Clarksburg. This is set up on the Central Time Zone, and this tornado warning is expected to expire at 12:45 Eastern Time, which is about another 10 or 12 minutes to go here this evening. And you can see that that strong circulation, not quite as intense as it was earlier. That's over Jeffersonville, Ohio. And again, we'll look at that. Not quite as intense as it was, but nonetheless, it's still there, and we're continuing to watch that. And I like to look at the possibility of severe hail. These areas here, just around and to the west of Jeffersonville, currently. And where do you think the greatest risk of hail would be? All over that area: South Salone, Midway, Jeffersonville, down through Bloomburg. That's where the hail is. And if you're following us very closely tonight, typically back to the northeast is where you'll have your hail, and then if you have your circulation from your tornado would be to the southwest of that, and that is where you can see the rotation is in this particular thunderstorm. All right, so that takes care of that particular tornado warning. It's beginning to be less cluttered, and we're going to talk about this tornado warning here. It expires. Let's see, northeastern Fayette and southeastern Madison County. That tornado warning has been allowed to expire. Tornado warning remains in effect until 1 a.m. for for Pickaway and north central Ross County. This is in effect until 1 a.m. Tornado and quarter-sized hail is possible with that storm. And again, this tornado warning that you're seeing right here, this one impacting Asheville and Circleville. This is this tornado warning. I will draw on that. This one right here, this tornado warning here, again, is in effect until 1 a.m. See, yep, 1 a.m. Eastern time this morning. All right, now if we go back to a little bit farther east, this was impacting the Bremen, New Lexington, Somerset, Ohio, Roseville, Ohio. This is another area: Rushville, New Lexington, Crooksville, Brenham. We'll get that back here where you can see a little bit better on it. This is again a tornado warning that's in effect, and this tornado warning is in effect until 1:15. About another let's see, about another 40 minutes from now until that tornado warning is allowed to expire. Some of the areas affected include Junction City, Ohio, Crooksville, Ohio, Roseville, and the Philo community of Ohio. So that's where that we're looking at now, and things are not quite as messed up as that was earlier. To not know the geographics of Ohio. I think we've covered it fairly well tonight. Let's see. Man, we've had a lot of people that's tuned in tonight to follow us, and that really makes me happy. Uh, and the reason being is um, reports of catastrophic damage in North Dayton. And you know what, Angel, there is no doubt in my mind that we would have uh, catastrophic damage from that area and around Huber Heights. I'm sure that it is probably totally devastation this morning, and our prayers and our thoughts go out to the people in Ohio. Tornado outbreak, and the Storm Alert Weather Center in South Central Kentucky has been on the air. We've been bringing you this weather coverage, and we hope that maybe something we have said or done has made a difference to the people in Ohio, maybe saved a life. I'm always interested to hear that if we've made a difference. If someone sought shelter thanks to us, then I'm all about that, and that is the name of the game. But anyway, let's see. We have 8 people. I think things are beginning to dwindle down somewhat. We do still have tornado warnings in effect. I want to go over those real quickly for you. Tornado warning for Perry County in southeastern Ohio and northwestern Morgan County. This is in effect until 1:15 Eastern Time. That is Perry County and northwestern Morgan County, in effect until 1:15 Eastern Time, and that's this county right here that has Somerset, Roseville, New Lexington, and Bremen. That is the county that has the additional tornado warning. Let's see. Tornado warning for northeastern Fayette and southeastern Madison has been canceled. Remains in effect until 1 o'clock, another 20 minutes or so for Pickaway in north central Ross County. And that is this county right here. And some of the communities affected include Circleville, Stoutville, Tarleton, Amanda, Sugar Grove, Brennan, and Logan. And again, that's another tornado warning that's been issued. And I think we have a brand new tornado warning. Yeah, we do have a brand new tornado warning that has been issued, and I want to talk about that for just a second. And that is a new the line of the leading area of circulation is right around Jeffersonville and the Bloomburg area. That's impacted, and we're going to put a track on that storm. Jeffersonville, Bloomburg, New Holland, Williamsport, and Clarksburg. This is between 12:47 and 1:30 Eastern Time this morning. That is the track of that this tornadic thunderstorm is taking. Again, Jeffersonville 11:46 and Bloomingburg by 12:04. That's about 21 minutes away from Bloomingburg. And, the thing about that I've enjoyed doing weather coverage tonight is the fact that we have very little severe weather here. And when we have an opportunity to test our tools and to do to work over things that we have, of course, our maps that we have on the local level have more areas of what do you call it of locations, little communities and burgs and things. So if we're looking at a storm, and the leading edge of it is wherever you can say that storm is expected to be near Jeffersonville at 11:48. You have about 5 minutes and a half until impacting. And then we move down to Bloomburg. and then we have 21 minutes until impact. This is expected to arrive at 12:05. And then if we added, say, a school, or if we added a shopping center, or if we added Walmart, you could just go to Walmart and say that storm will be there at around 12:04 Central Time. You have about 20 minutes to take shelter. Now, again, this is nothing for Kentucky. This is on behalf of our friends that are in Ohio, and I don't know if there's any weather coverage going on much in Ohio or not. Angel, if you would give me a little input on that, and I'm not trying to take credit for doing weather for all of Ohio or that area, but how many people? Is there any local media doing severe weather coverage and keeping everybody informed? That's something I would like to know, because it thrills me to know that I can be part of that. We're not going to be the only voice for severe weather, but nonetheless, we are here and bringing you this weather because of the people up there, and it's great to stand alongside the other media outlets and be able to bring weather for you. So, Angel, is there any other TV or radio media that's doing weather coverage this morning? I'd be interested to know that. If you could shoot me a message. Says a lot of power is out. Brookville has a lot of damage. The intermediate school roof is gone, as well as houses in that area. Catastrophic damage in Dayton. And I would imagine if I was a betting person, I would say that areas around Huber Heights, Tip City, Springfield, and Fairborn, I can't imagine, based on what we've seen, and I don't know if we have the radar data goes back that far. I don't think I have enough time set back, but you can tell that as these storms move through, this is looking from about 10:30 or so right on into the current hour, which would be 11:30 into about 12:46 this evening as these storms move through. And I don't have anything back that far, but it's likely, as you can see the track and how the red boxes indicate tornadoes. We can go back to the first frame and see how these storms have moved through over the last little while. This is about 11:16 on the Eastern time zone, and you can see how the storms have developed and moved across the state. And there we go. And that is without the radar attributes. So you can see how they move from Dayton right across the state, move through Columbus, up around Delaware, Ohio. So it's been a very stormy night tonight for the people in the central part of Ohio and just north of Cincinnati. And you can see the tornado warnings if they have been issued. That's the red boxes tonight. Those are the ones that currently have tornado warnings in effect. Now, one of the good things about it, I don't put a lot of confidence in this because sometimes things can change. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning, and that is issued to the east. That is issued to the east of what I think would be Pickaway County, north central Ross County. Okay, good. We have that tornado warning has now been allowed to expire, and that is a very good thing. And now has been replaced by the severe thunderstorm warning. So that is a good thing. A tornado warning does continue to impact Jeffersonville, Bloomingburg, New Holland, Williamsport, and Clarksville. We have another tornado warning that's impacting Somerset, Ohio, Crooksville, Roseville, and Philo, and that is pretty much all that we have at the current time, other than a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. And again, we do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight for severe weather coverage. Okay, a lot of people are relying on Facebook and trying to Google radio for information. You know, it's something I tell people, even back here on the home front, to never rely solely upon social media for broadcasting severe weather, and the reason being that platform can be taken down by a lightning strike or whatever, and that's something that you have to be careful about. Let's talk a moment about the tornado alert, and you can find these on Amazon. You can find these at Walmart.com. I'm not trying to sell anything, but I've been working closely with the man who designed those, who has put years of research into it. I'm a firm believer in them. Back, a little less than a year ago, we had a tornado touchdown in the county next to us, and I had the alert that there was a risk of a tornado and a tornado. I had that warning about 15 minutes ahead of the weather service. And again, this is not to say you throw away your weather radio or anything. This is simply something that adds to your arsenal for severe weather. And I want to encourage people to purchase one of these. It's the best investment that you can make. And I would like to see everybody have one, and not asking you to get rid of your phone app or your NOAA weather radio or anything of the sorts. I'm just saying this is a great way of keeping up with severe weather. Give you a 30-mile range, and people can keep up with you and know exactly what's going on in your neighborhood. All right, severe weather coverage does continue, and I think the tornado warning that we thought was going to be allowed to expire has now been brought back into play with inside that tornado warning, or that severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado warning for southwestern Fairfield County, West Hocking County, southeastern Pickaway County, northeastern Ross County until 1:15 Eastern Time. Tornado and quarter-sized hail. Now, one thing about it, when our hail diameter has gone down somewhat, which is a good thing, as you might imagine. That is a good thing to know, that the hail size has diminished, and we can still see rotation in that storm that's moving through the following communities: Bloomingburg, New Holland, Williamsport, and Clarksburg, Ohio. And let me see. I'm going to check how many people we have watching. We have 5 people watching, folks. I think we have. I think we pretty much exhausted all that we need to talk about. I could go on and on until this is over, but I think we have accomplished what we set ourselves to do. and I'm pleased with it. And I want to say thank you to all the people that has tuned in tonight for severe weather coverage this evening. You can always remember, if we have severe weather in this area, you can tune in to the Storm Alert Weather Center. We're based out of Russell Springs, Kentucky, along the banks of the beautiful Lake Cumberland area, and we're glad to be part of this unexpected broadcast tonight. And I think we have made a difference in several families tonight, as they have taken cover and sought shelter due to the voice of our social media platform this evening. So with that being said, we say thank you very much for joining us. Say our thoughts and our many prayers are going up to the people of Ohio tonight. I can't imagine what they will wake to in the morning when the sun hits everything. Hopefully no one perished in this storm, and maybe that what we did could possibly have saved a life or many more lives there for the people in central Ohio. A few more storm warnings, a few more tornado warnings, but basically taking the same track. I think we've got the word out to the people. People around have gone to bed. So we're going to call it quits. Thank you all for joining us live from the Storm Alert Weather Center.